Today we're out here checking in another spot in Sanpete. I'm not going to give you the location again because it's a location that's close to a town, and the locals like to keep this stuff, private, since it's not protected by a fence or anything like that. It's just when you pull off the road and go see, which is amazing. I've lived here pretty much my whole life, and I never knew till recently that these were here. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's go. As you can see, road right there, literally right there. We just pull in like it's a parking lot. Houses right there, and it's just this really cool alcove that has some spectacular rock imagery. And it's crazy because it's just this little alcove, super secluded. If you drive right by, probably thousands of people drive by this. Probably, every year, not even realize what kind of treasure they have right here in the heart of Sanpete County. As you can see from up here, kind of see this little area right here where the bridge is and comes across behind this little knoll. In that little valley right there is the Sanpete River. It gave a good water source to the Fremont and Ute Indians when they were here. You can see Sanpete County's not really known for its patina. You normally have like basalt and sandstone. And you get some every once in a while, but it's very delicate, very fragile. So stuff that could have been here, like this rock right here, flakes off over the years. Or somebody, trying to come here and ship something out for a souvenir, or shooting at them, so we lose a lot of that history in places like this. So as we make our way up this side of the hill, we come to probably one of my favorites, this whole location, and it's just one cool little sheep, deer, but it's just such a cool looking little fella. Very well done too. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then we just came from up this little way right here. But look at that valley. Gorgeous.
It's January 11th, 26. Just out for a little stroll. One of our favorite rock art sites. We're just doing a nice little video of it. And weather's not too bad. Probably high 30s, low 40s. We finally got some snow. The mountains were completely clear of snow except at the very top. See, Molly's nipple back there is covered up pretty good. That's that big high point up there. Have a pretty day. Good old man told us, we need water. We need it bad. This is kind of a lava field that, and it's funny how we turn it around here. funny, this, out of all of the places they could do it, this little valley right here, this little divot, you can see there's rock art up on that rock up there, there's rock art right there, there's rock art right there. Brandon's up there filming some rock art, talking about it. See how this little bowl right here, just go on up. So let's get to it. There's our first one right there. Almost looked like an eyeball. There's another one.
Like I said, we just barely got snow up on the mountains. It's been spring and fall so far this year. We finally have some white mountains. But that's a beautiful valley. This little fella right there. So amazing. Very well done. And you see it's not really too protected either. You have that little thing from the west. It's kind of an overhang, maybe protected a little bit from the elements. But on my side, there's, really nothing. But that is pretty well done and preserved. Like I said, one of my favorites here. Okay, we're going to continue up the alcove. You see right here, there's another one. There's a couple of them right here that are pretty cool. Start seeing a few more. This one almost looks like a map of some sort, maybe. Kind of explaining the valley, maybe, or where their trails were at the time. Protected by this bush if it wasn't winter. But that's a really cool, I think it's a map. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Like I said, you guys are a lot smarter than I am. I just love seeing that. I love hearing different explanations, different opinions of these here. So we're going to keep walking up there, but there's a spiral, little spiral right up there. So we're going to zoom into that bad boy. Check that one out. A couple spirals. I don't know if that was supposed to be a teeth looking thing. Maybe they forgot to finish the head and never had an opportunity to come back and see that. But pretty cool. Really cool right there. And then, like I said, that spiral. And then that little bad boy right there. Pretty awesome. Very cool.
Got a few of them right there. Hopefully they show better up on the camera. A lot of sheep.
Got my dad over there doing some recording and videoing himself. On that side, I've kind of split up on this one. He's the true Sanpete Trail Hunter. I'm just a sidekick. Alright, let's keep going. See, this looks like something that was there at one point in time. That looked like a little peck circle right there. Maybe over time there's other things on there. You got like this little area right here. The circle, maybe something above it. I mean, you can let your imagination run wild with that. Just kind of forming your own opinion of what it is. So let's just keep going. Go on that side. All these colors. You see all that color on that rock? Look at all that. Moss, algae. Maybe some of you biology guys or gals could tell me what that is. Looks really cool though. Or I'll Google it myself. That's probably what you're going to say anyway. Just trying to create a dialogue. Some more down there. Really cool. You have another circle up here. It's very cool. Look at that. Of course, some big idiot has to shoot at it. I don't understand that, but I don't know. That's very cool. You see that you gain altitude pretty quickly in this bad boy. And if you watch my last video, you know I'm not in the best shape. Yada, yada, yada. I know what I should be doing, I just don't do it. But maybe I breathe a little less heavy if I would just work out a little bit more. And take a couple pictures of that bad boy real quick and we'll be on our way. I know there has to be other counties like Sanpete where there's just not a lot that, you know, a lot of sites where just the locals know, you know. If you know where some of those places are, you have to tell me where they are. That's not what I'm asking. But just tell me how cool they are and, you know, what are your thoughts about them? How do you feel about them? Because, like, I know how protective I am of these because they're in my home county, Sanpete, you know, and I'd only take very, very trusted people up here just to check them out with the understanding that we're not sharing that location. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Once again, beautiful valley, gorgeous valley. And we're just started out down there where the Jeep is, working our way up this little ridge right here, just seeing what we can see. It's just some amazing things. It's like really condensed in this area. I'm sure there's other things, other spots around here that we haven't stumbled upon. But to me, when you think about Sanpete and rock imagery is almost like one of the jackpots. Because you feel very blessed, very lucky to be able to see these, come view them. You know, gives you a different sense of just feelings of, you know, personally what they mean to you. You know, especially what they meant to the indigenous people. You know, I like to try to understand that from their perspective. I'm not indigenous, but I really try to understand and be reverent when I come to these locations. And the cool factor, they're amazing. It's that silent language. Very, very cool. Get up here and move that branch out of the way without disturbing the trees on it, so I can give you a good idea of what I'm able to look at right now. It's pretty, very cool. Go over there. I don't see any on the far side. There's a couple pecks stuck down in there. Got a pretty good shield or spiral there. You come over here, you see the wavy lines. I'm not sure that was meant to be a figure. Never got finished. But let me know what you think. I'm sure you've seen those before. That was like a really good one. Look at spiral. Overlooking the beautiful Mantilla cells. Very cool. Finished checking these out. Also, good to be aware of your surroundings, because that is as a nest or a lair for something. I don't want to disturb them either. They probably got some sharp either talons or claws. I think being respectful for these and this, whatever lives there is the guardian. So, reverent and respectful. All right, man. We're going to keep on making our way around. And there's a bunch up there, which we're going to go check out. Some of the really cool ones. It's like you got a really awesome panel. This area, oh, I'm sorry, maybe I'm pointing the right place. Up in there, there's an amazing panel we'll go check out that's up along that ridge line up there. Gotta take a second to retie my shoes. Yeah, may not look too steep, but it's very steep. So my socks were coming off inside my shoes. That's kind of weird. But also wanted to check out this view. Check this out. I don't know if you're standing. There's that beautifulness right up there. Then you just kind of look at that. Beautiful. Got Fish Lake down there. Lemon Rose. Very cool place. Amazing place to live. Love it down here. Okay, you're just looking at the ones over by that hibernating bush over there. On the other side, another little circle right there. See that right there? Pretty cool. Another stupid bull all the way up there. As you look down, you can see chipmunk. There's more all over that. Pretty cool. I'm at a weird angle right now filming this, so let me try to pull myself up and then I'll give a closer look. All right. See another deer. I'm assuming that's another one. Like I said, you got that circle right there. Pretty awesome. Looks like there's some more coming down this way. I bet once upon a time they probably were pretty pristine, but this basalt's not this friendly. This basalt sandstone conglomerate rock they have, hard to work with. That's why I I think they're very impressive because they were determined and resilient to still leave a record. Very cool. Okay, we're gonna make our way up to those real quick. We'll get a close-up look at those. One of the really cool ones. Had to journey off for a sec. I had to come up with that nonsense right there. As you can see, that's a pretty good little tumble factor. Lots of big rocks. Getting a little older. Can't be falling down anymore. It hurts. Very cool. That one's kind of blowing out the sun right there, but check these out. That dude's real cool. Really, really cool. And of course, hundreds of them, bullet holes. People are jerks. And they wonder why stuff gets closed to the public. You know? Might be something right there. I don't know. Maybe something else right up there. Oh, we got stuff down there. I showed you the deer, but these are just phenomenal. Very cool. A whole bunch of spirals. What are your thoughts on the spirals? You know, what do you think about them? Waterways, portals? I know it's there's a lot of opinion on those. I think maybe waterway. I don't know about the portals. I'll leave that to my dad to discuss. But I mean, they're interesting. I like that dude over there too. He's pretty cool. Some big old fingers, big old toes. All right, man, I'm gonna snap a couple pictures of these. Is there anything without touching? Look at that one. That's very cool too. I'm just curious. It looked like there's some packing on that side just a little bit. Very cool. All right, be back. Yeah, just take your time.
And I was down there for so long,
Uh-huh.
I was testing it to see if I did a short video and then played it back.
Yeah.
I couldn't make the sound from it. I forgot you had to unplug it to make the sound come. So I took it off mute, and then I go, what is going on? Slow down. Oh, I have to unplug this.
Yeah.
So it don't play. So it's working, which is really good.
It's good. Trial and error, huh? We're both learning how to use our stuff. Be careful.
Yeah.
That one's kind of, it's a lot steeper than it looks and a lot more rocks.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep going. Going to work our way across here. Looks like there's a little circle on that one right there. If I remember right, there's not a lot up, if any, outside of that circle right there. So we're just going to make our way across this little field and then work our way down over to that place, up that ridge. And we'll check out a few down in this area. The one pictograph is like on this big slanted boulder right there. We'll check that out before we take off.
Got some sheep there. Circle and circle. I think it has something to do with the sun. Small one up there, I've used it as a target. We don't do that no more. I never did, but hopefully people don't. Looks like there's some lines going down like rays. Coming down from the, something in the middle like the sun. Pretty neat. I thought this was lava. I think it's limestone again. Shot the heck out of this circle. And I believe this is atlatl. This one here. That looks like the arrow. Down there looks like the hand point where you hold it to throw it. To me. Let's go take my time getting down here. Boy, do I need to get back to walking. There's some more. Nice little pack rat nest. Some weeby ones up there. Maybe for the two rivers are coming together.
All right. Making our way over there. See some on that rock down there. So we'll make our way across and just kind of go down that face, checking stuff out without doing the fast way to the bottom, which is tumbling down that little ravine. Not sure if I come back from that. So, sure-footed. It is a lot colder today And when we were out doing the Highland Canal panels, that storm was starting to blow in. That's the reason why we got all that snow up there. But today it actually feels a little like winter. First time this year, which is kind of weird. But anyways, a couple peckings right there. Look at those. Might be something. Another, some sort of pecking. Unfinished project. Finished project is weathered probably. You can see how easily that stuff just kind of breaks off. It's so brittle and fragile. That's why we don't touch it. Even if it was on a solid rock, we don't want to touch it because of the oils and stuff in our hands might ruin that. There's some more right down there. Step down. These are the ones I was looking at from over there on the other side. Maybe a person, some sort of deity, a figure. And the funny, interesting thing is, look how it's flanked by two lines. It's pretty interesting. What do you think that means? I don't know if I've seen that before. Maybe. I'm getting old, my memory's starting to go. Yeah, 50's old. At least that's what my girls tell me. That's why I try to get out and do this as much as possible to keep limber, a little bit of exercise. Dad's going on the other way over there. Telling him to be careful, those rocks are, that little field's pretty nasty. He's a mountain goat. Them skills. That's where we were. Over there where he is. We made our way across over here. Down. It's deceiving how steep this is. It's hard to give like a perspective, you know, of what we're climbing up, you know. See, Dad survived the boulder field up there. Making the way down that ridge where we just come from. If you look, this is where we're making our way down. Right there. A little circle. Right there. It's pretty cool. Then we're making our way over there, where there's another really cool panel. As we walk over there, I was just thinking, it's like, you know, what are my favorite type of pictographs and petroglyphs? I think when it comes to petroglyphs, they're a little more simple, you know, doing what they had, but there are some really cool, like sheep. They almost look cartoonish over by Broken Hearted Man and the Swell. Plenty of maps on how to get out to that one, but the sheep they have over there, plus Broken Hearted Man, that's like a pretty emotional petroglyph. Like I just can't fathom, you know, what would make an individual, you know, make that kind of a petroglyph, which I'm sure I can relate somehow. All of us can. We all get in emotional places. But if you've never checked out Hearted Man, definitely look it up. Very cool to see, and it's a fun hike. It's a really cool place to go visit. So I'll shut up and quit yammering because you guys want to see at least a whole bunch of petroglyphs up on there. We're going to work our way over there real quick. I'm going to step a couple of photos from this area because you got the beautiful white mountains in the background. So we'll head over there in just a sec. Probably not the most ideal situation or lighting to film in, but hey, do what we can do. But as you can see, this is an amazing panel. And some not so amazing vandalism at the bottom. But yeah, pretty cool nonetheless, though. They do have some cowboy glyphs here, apparently. Well, that's what we'll call them, I guess. Let's go check that out. Make our way over slowly. Being careful. This is one of my other favorite panels as far as Sanpete goes. You know, those figures right there. It's not like typical, in my opinion, not typical like trapezoid type people. Maybe those are more Ute influenced. Maybe a lot of stuff that's kind of been destroyed either by the environment, you know, or by humans, modern humans. You know, you just don't know. A little fella down there too. Pretty awesome. Some more markings down there. You can see down there, but man, look at all those sheep. There's got to be like a hunting panel of some nature. Tons of spirals too. And there's one of those fellas with the big fingers reaching out and grabs. That one's interesting just for the simple fact that I don't know if, you know, is that his head right there? Or is that his head up there? I don't know. Or is the sun setting behind him? Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to show you some other vandalism real quick. So we got some cool stuff right there. Really cool stuff. And then, looks like a person, pig, horse. Yeah, that's a horse. And a pig. Guy with the bigger nose. CRLR, I don't know. Vandalism nonetheless. They got their dog down there apparently. Maybe it's a different person. But we came here for that. Don't be like these people. Enjoy it from a distance. You know, we would hate for them to head down there and put a fence down there so we can't access this side anymore. That'd be pretty sad. And then nobody gets to enjoy these. All right, snap some more pictures. Be right back. What do you think these dash marks mean? I need to do some research on those. You see them. One time I remember we were at a Quichapa and they had a bunch of those, like tally looking marks. Look at them sheep. Man, so many spirals. I didn't realize. I've been out here before. There's a ton of spirals. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 9 spirals that I can see. You got ones that are some that are super faded out like these. So, and then obviously it's been, hopefully that's not mankind trying to pick those off for their living room. Hopefully it's just naturally weathered like that, which is sad, but I'd rather have that than some dumb human freaking chipping it away. I love these. Go up on those. Look at that. Oh, so cool. And big old fingers. Sun head. sunset. I don't know. I like it, but I don't know. Maybe you guys will have a really good explanation for that too, huh? Like I said, a lot smarter than I am. Let me know your thoughts. All right, well, I think there's, go explore over here for a sec. See if there's, I can't remember if there's something on the other side. Yep, more spirals. Go figure. More spirals. More deer. Yes, sir. I love how much more the camera picks it up off of the rock with my eyes. I mean, I can see it, but then I look through it through the viewfinder, and I'm, holy cow, that just pops so much more. Oh, I bet this was beautiful. I mean, all this is kind of eroded away, so you can see there was probably a pretty nice full panel right here. Even some more up in there, you know. It would have been amazing to see it in its prime. Very cool. Like I said, pretty cool. Hopefully got some good pictures of those. I'll link my photography website in the description in case you want to go see some of these photos. A little birdie. There goes a little birdie. Flying around up there. Might be back a little too much. He's just running around up there. All right. Let's start making our way down. We're just going to make our way down this bad boy without falling down and breaking, well, breaking me for one, or expensive camera video gear, right? Some more cowboy glyphs, couple more deer. Ooh, look, there's a little cool looking little guy. Look at that. That's very cool. Maybe another spiral right there. Deer. This baby fawn. Don't know. Another little deer. Get it back. Maybe something up on that one too. Maybe. Because we just come from over there. Just all these little rocks. You know, potential to have something cool on it.
I don't know. In the rocks. Looks like it might be at the river. Spiral up there. sheep. My sheep.
Cool thing is we have these. But then you also have maybe settlers. Some of them are, I'm sure, older, but unfortunately there's some that are also recent. So yeah, like some older. You think maybe pioneers, maybe, or local. You never know. I don't think we're carbon dating graffiti. Always look back to make sure we're not missing anything. Thought there was some more up around that way on this basalt sandstone. I just can't remember. Looks like some. Let's walk back up there. Yeah, that looks like a person right here. Let me get somewhere a little more stable. But that looks like somebody, huh? That looks maybe like something. Maybe that's weathered. I don't know. That though definitely looks like a person. And then up here, looks like something a little more. That's definitely picked in. Another person. Sideways. Let's hope that guy didn't die. Just laying down taking a siesta. That's over where the sheep were. All right. Very cool. Just make my way back up real quick. Have to turn it off. It's a little steep. Need both hands. Don't definitely want to throw my Osmo to save myself. Those are pretty cool though. There's just so many of them. So many different spaces. I'm sure I'm not even hitting them all. I'm sure there's a ton more. Everywhere you look, there's like little circles and another deer, what looks like another person. Like right here. That could very well be a deer or a sheep. Don't know what that is. Looks like another circle over there on that one. Right there. All right. Made our way back down. We just come from way over there. But we want to check out some of these. There's a shield on this one. A circle for sure. And then we'll go up to that rock up there where the one pictograph is. But we'll check these out first. I'm sure we're probably missing a ton of them. Probably absolutely positive we are. But see the ones that we can see. That circle right there. That's a pretty cool one. You just see how everything just is so easy flakes off. And down here, let me get over here. Still steep at the bottom. See that? That's pecked on. Dumb bullet holes. Almost like it was at one time another circle. Something else over there. More bullet holes. But then as we continue up, there's a big old circle. Almost looks like crosshairs on a rifle. Right there. So the circle was over on that rock. We worked our way up and got to see that bad boy right there. What do you think of this? Not a wagon wheel. But curious. Let me know in the comments what you think that is. Besides being cool. Now we're going to keep working our way up there to the very lonely Petroglyph. Which I've always thought it was funny that the ones that are picked in are petroglyphs. Anyways, I always found it interesting that the ones that are picked in are petroglyphs, and the ones that are painted are pictographs. Maybe one of you guys can school me on that. All right, here we are. Now, I've been told that back up in there, if you crawl on your back, you can get up there, and there's supposedly some more, I think they said pictographs, but I'm kind of a claustrophobic guy, and I'm a bigger guy. That don't sound fun. So the one over here at the entrance is literally the only pictograph I've ever seen down here. So, not saying there ain't more, but I'm not doing that. But very cool. Like I said, the only petroglyph I've seen down here. Heard rumors there's more in there. That's not me. All right, that kind of wraps it up for today. If you're watching this, let us know in the comments, how we're doing, what you'd like to see, maybe talk about more interesting stuff instead of rambling on, maybe. But I always like to hear from you guys. It gives us an idea of direction to go, I guess. I do know of one more location in Sanpete County that I'd like to check out. So hopefully we can do that one. I know there's one close to here in Juab County. There's more, but close to us in Sanpete. So the ones that are over by Yuba, those are pretty well known. So I'm not giving away the secrets. But thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the trail next time.